Hello everyone. In this video, I will be discussing pipe flow equations and major losses. Let's proceed. These are the topics na didis- didiscuss ko or under this video. So, I'll try to discuss it na maintindihan mo. So, ano nga ba nagta-transport or magta-transport ang isang fluid? So, pinapadaan natin siya through medium. So, ang medium na ito ay tinatawag natin na conduit. At itong conduit naman ay meron tayong dalawang klase ng conduit. Yun ay ang pipes at ang open channel. So, itong dalawa na ito, bawat isa sa kanila ay mayroong characteristics. So, when it comes to convey fluid. So, in this video, ang i-discuss ko lang ay pipes since yung open channel will be discussed by my whole group. So yun nga, ang conduit is a channel for conveying water or other fluid. So let's say meron tayo dito point A, so yung source natin. Tapos, yung medium na nakakonect sa point of charge natin ay tinatawag na conduit. So, let's proceed sa pipes. So, pipes is a tubular section or hollow cylinder used to convey substance which can flow. So, yun nga, nagko-convey nga yung pipes ng fluid. So, pipes is a closed conduit. Yung pipes ay isang closed conduit. Isa siyang class ng conduit, closed. And it means yung parameter ng cross-section ng pipes ay walang part na na-expose sa atmosphere. Unlike sa open channel is meron pa siyang part na na-expose sa atmosphere. So usually rin, ang pipes ay pressurized. It means from the source, initially ay nagpapasis yung fluid ng mataas na energy heat. So, pwedeng nagmula ito sa elevation or merong water pump doon sa source. So, kapag merong pump ay magiging pressurized na yung fluid na magpo-flow doon sa pipes. So, yung mga simpleng applications para sa pipes ay yung water supply and distribution system tulad ng sa water district or rural waterworks or yung mga bulk water supply projects. Kasi nga, hindi madidistribute ang water kung hindi pressurized yung line. Let's have scenario. Let's say meron ditong elevated water tank. So, then, itong elevated water tank ay magsusupply sa mga residential areas o sa mga bahay na ito. Let's say may pipes dito na nakapunin. Ayan. I'm sorry sa drawing ko. Ayun. Let's say ganito na lang. Ayan, may nakakonect dyan. I'm sorry. I'm not magaling sa ganito. Assuming na straight to straight to ganyan. Ay na lang. Oh, hindi pa nagpantay. I'm so sorry guys. Let's say ganyan. Assuming kasi na meron ditong pipes yan, connected to on. Then, from that, meron mga nakakabit na pipe. Ganyan. Kaya dyan magagaling yung water supply. So, let's say ito yung service connection na magsusupply dun sa mga bahay. So pangit. At since elevated yung area na ito, so nasa mataas siya, mataas na elevation. So let's say na meron ditong elevation H. Ganyan. Hirapan talaga. Ganyan. Na ganyan. Tapos H. Kaya ang mangyayari dyan. So, ito yung magiging source ng pressure para doon sa water line na magsusupply doon sa residential houses. So, it means yung pipes are under pressure. And we will classify this as pipes. So, hindi lang galing sa elevated tank yung pwede maging source of pressure natin. Pwede din meron dyang meron dyang pump, which is na magiging source of pressure ng water doon sa system of pipes. Diba may involved na pump doon sa system na pwedeng mag-serve as a pump. Pwede ito mag-serve na booster pump. Ito rin ay magiging source of pressure. So, these are the types of pipe fittings natin. So, yung ginagamit natin para ma-connect yung pipe natin. So, ito yung mga reducing T. So, let's proceed sa flow on pipes. So, meron tayong dalawang characteristics ng flow. So, unang characteristics ng flow ay ang laminar flow. So, laminar flow describes a flowing motion that is smooth. So, itong laminar flow ay synonymous siya sa word na calm. So, kalmado lang ang flow niya at hindi magulo. Parang smooth lang yung kanyang fluid motion. So, tinatawag rin siyang steady flow or uniform flow. Pangalawang characteristics ng flow natin ay ang turbulent flow, which is contrasting naman siya sa laminar flow. Kasi itong turbulent flow ay synonymous naman siya sa word na chaotic or magulo. So, yung fluid motion naman niya ay unsteady. Also, yung fluid particles niya is nagko-cross contrasting doon sa flow direction. So, ang cause nga nito ay turbulence or magkakaroon ng mixing effect gaya nito. Gaya nito. Magkakaroon ng mixing effect yung fluid particles. So, actually meron pang pangatlong characteristic which is yung transitional. Kaso ito lang talaga yung ang mas common na flow ng type ng characteristics ng flow. So we have here the Osborne-Reynolds experiment. So ito yung isa sa mga lab experiment para ma-demonstrate or maipakita yung mga types of flow na ito. So, ayan, tinatawag itong Osborne-Reynolds experiment. So, ang setup ng Osborne-Reynolds experiment, I wanna share it lang to you guys. Ang setup niya, kailangan mag-flow yung water sa isang pipe. Gaya nito. May nagpo-flow dito na water. Sorry, magulo lang to. Direct. May nagpo-flow dyan na water. So, may naka-attach na setup ng tank ng dye. So, wala na naman siguro yung dye. Basta dye. Mayroong picture yan letter. So, wherein doon sa tank ay may nakakonect na small tube. Ito yung small tube na naka-L shape. L shape din siya. So, yung opening ng small tube na yan is naka-orient siya in such a way na kapag nag-flow, nag-supply na ng dye doon sa pipe, ay sasabay siya doon sa flow ng tubig. So, sa dulo ng pipe naman, merong valve. Ito. Sa dulo, let's say, na-cut kasi yan. So, yun. Sa dulo ng pipe, merong valve na pwedeng ma-control initially. And initially, sarado pa ito. So, unti-unti natin bubuksan yung valve para makapag-flow yung water. Let's say na open na yan. So, gradually lang yung pag-open. So, sa ganitong experiment ay gradual lang ang pag-open. So, yun yung sabi ko, gradual lang pag-open doon sa valve. So, pagbukas ng valve, gradually rin na magpo-flow yung water and dye doon sa pipe. So, habang nasa slow rate pa nga, yung takbo niya, yung rate ng fluid, o mababa pa yung velocity nung flowing water ay yung flow ng dye doon sa water ay on a straight path pa siya. Kaya nito sa figure 1. Yan. Kasi nga, hindi ganun kalakas yung pag-open hindi natin masyado in-open yung valve. So, mababa rin yung kanyang velocity pag ganun. So, hindi pa siya masyado nagmi-mix dun sa water. So, yung flow ng water ay calm flow, knowing na yung dye ay hindi pa na-disturb yung flow ng water. So, kapag hindi pa niya straight pa lang yung flow ng dye na yan, it means nasa calm flow, kalmado pa lang yung flow ng water. So, unlike dito sa transitional flow, kasi medyo dinagdagan natin yung pag-open doon sa valve. Then, dito sa transitional flow, meron na siyang konting pagka-disturb. Kaya yan. So, sa transitional flow kasi, may disturb na part o yung may chaotic na part at meron din kalmado na part. So, sa third figure naman, once na ma-fully open natin yung valve, ay mamamaximize na natin yung velocity nung flow ng water. So, in this case, nagmi-mix na yung dye doon sa flowing water. So, kapag ganyan, nasa turbulent flow yung water. So, sa experiment na to, we can determine yung flow ng water dahil doon sa behavior ng dye. So, ganito yung actual na experiment. Pero hindi ko na sali yung video kasi hindi ko makadownload. So, ganyan. Kung makikita nyo, ganito yung steady pa lang, yung calm pa lang, yung kalmado pa lang yung flow ng water. So, parang hindi naman siya ganun ka-straight, pero makikita mo talaga na kalmado yung flow ng water. So, ganito yung turbulent flow naman. Kung makikita nyo, nagkakaroon ng eddying effect or ng unsteady ng dive. So, nagmamatter talaga doon sa behavior ng dive. So, let's proceed. I hope you understand yung flow and types. It's Reynolds number. If natin malalaman kung paano natin makukompute or paano malalaman theoretically yung flow. Ito ba ay laminar, turbulent, or transitional? So, kailangan natin malalaman ng Reynolds number muna. So, ito ay nagmula sa kay Osborne Reynolds. Siya yung basta nagmula sa kanya itong Reynolds number. The Reynolds number is a dimensionless parameter that characterizes whether a fluid flow is laminar, turbulent, or transitional. So it is the ratioing between the initial forces and viscous forces in a fluid flow. So, paano yun? Wait lang, ito yung kanyang formulas. So, through Reynolds number, we can characterize yung flow ng fluid. Illustrate natin yung forces. Let's say merong pipe dito, pipe. And inside dun sa pipe is meron siyang flowing liquid. Since flowing nga yung liquid, ay meron tayong flow direction within the streamline. So, streamline ito siya. So, in a flowing liquid, syempre hindi nawawala dyan ang mga resisting forces, which is nasa property mismo ng liquid. So, one of these resistance ay cause ng viscosity, kasi between layers of fluid particles, or doon sa boundary layer, dito ay nagre-resist ang bawat particle sa isa't isa. And this is mainly caused by viscosity. So, with regards to the involved forces, yung initial forces are the driving forces that cause the liquid to flow. So, ibig sabihin yung initial forces, ito yung nagpo-cause dun sa liquid to flow. And yung viscous forces naman are resisting forces. So, itong dalawang to ay constructing to each other. So, yun yung tinatawag na yun yung forces dito, yung inertial forces and viscous forces. So, ito yung kanyang formula, RE is equals to rho VD over mu, where yung D natin is the diameter of the pipe. Naka-meter dito siya, pero so, velocity, flow of V is flow of velocity, rho is the fluid's density, and mu is the absolute viscosity. So, sa viscosity, if yung given na viscosity is kinematic viscosity, ito yung gagamitin natin na formula, which is yung RE is equals to diameter times velocity over viscosity. So, note that kapag nag-solve na tayo, later on may solving tayo, may example tayo, note na kapag yung Reynolds number natin ay less than or equal to 2,000, ibig sabihin, yung flow is in laminar flow. Pag naman greater than yung Reynolds number natin, greater than or equal to 4,000, ibig sabihin, nasa turbulent flow yung fluid. Pag naman in between siya or yung greater than 2,000 and less than 4,000, ibig sabihin, yung flow is in transitional flow. So, ito lang yung dapat uh, tandaan nyo talaga ito. Dito natin, uh, hindi tayo naka-base kung anong flow. So, ito yung kahalagaan ng Reynolds number. Pwede natin ma-identify o ma-characterize yung fluid flow using this Reynolds number. So, let's have example. So, determine the type of flow of water where viscosity is equals to 1 centipoise flowing in a 50 millimeter diameter pipe at a velocity of 2.5 meter per second. So, ang hinahanap natin yung Reynolds number. We have, ito yung given natin. This equals to 50 mm. Convert natin siya to meters since yung velocity natin is meter per second. The velocity, we have 2.5 meter per second. We have the rho of yung density ng water. So, 1,000 kg per cubic meter. And yung mu natin, kailangan pa natin yung i-convert. So, this viscosity is absolute viscosity. So, let's say it is in 20 degrees Celsius. So, ito yung conversion na. So, 1 Pascal second is equals to 10 pois. 1 pois is equals to 100 centipois. So, 1 centipois times 1 pois over 100 centipois times 1 Pascal second to 10 pois. Then, we have the result here, 1 times 10 raised to negative 3 Pascal seconds. So, pwede na natin i-compute yung ating Reynolds number. Our mu is 1.10. I mean, 1. I'm sorry guys. Lutang lang yung nagsulat. This is 1 times yan yung value ng ating mu. 1 times 10 raised to negative 3 Pascal seconds. Lutang po mo. Sorry guys, kulang din to. I'm sorry guys. Yung sa lutang. Ayan, mu yan. Let's say mu yan. So, since na-convert na natin yung value ng mu natin, pwede na natin kunin yung kanyang Reynolds. Yun, after natin ma-convert yung value ng mu natin, pwede na natin kunin yung kanyang Reynolds number. So, I'm sorry guys na mali lang ito dahil sa kalutangan. So, Reynolds is equals to rho VD over mu. So, we have here our rho, 1,000 kg per cubic meter. We have 2.5 meter per second our velocity. We have here the diameter 0.05 meter and the value of our mu na 1 times 10 raised to negative 3. So, kung mapapansin nyo, wala siyang unit. Kasi yung Reynolds number is unitless. Pero, so, hindi ko na siya na-discuss dito, guys, kasi it will be discussed by other group na. So, ang Reynolds number natin or ang result ng ating calculation ay 125,000. So, balikan natin yung sa ito sa note. So, di ba mataas siya? Mas mataas yung Reynolds number natin. So, hindi siya napaloob sa 2,000. So, ibig sabihin, dito siya na-fall sa dito sa greater than 4,000. So, that means, since our RE is 125,000, therefore, then, the flow is turbulent. So, ganun natin ganun natin na-determine yung characteristics ng fluid flow through Reynolds number. So, I hope you understand this, guys. So, flow rate is the measure of the volume or mass of fluid that passes through a point in a system per unit time. So in fluid mechanics, yung fluoride is critical for designing systems like pipes, pumps, and valves, and it helps ensure adequate fluid delivery and efficiency. So, mahalaga talaga itong fluoride. So, fluoride it is the amount of fluid passing through a cross-sectional per unit time. So, yun yung tinatawag nating fluoride. So, yung fluoride is, let's say, sa ilang volume, ilang mass yung dumadaan sa isang cross-sectional sa isang cross-section per unit time. So, meron tayong 3 types. Hindi ko sasabi dito basta meron sa next slide siya. Meron tayong 3 types of flow rate. We have the volume or volumetric flow rate, mass flow rate, and weight flow rate. So, these are the factors affecting the flow rate in your cross-sectional area, yung fluid velocity, fluid density, pipe roughness, and friction, and pressure gradient. So, let's discuss ito yung 3 types of flow rate. So, yung volumetric flow rate measures the volume of fluid passing through a section per unit time. Yun. So, ang volume flow rate ay ang pinaka-common na flow rate na ito talaga yung mas commonly known as discharge. So, ang volume flow rate ay kung how much in terms of volume ang dumadaan sa isang cross-section or yung lumalabas sa isang pipe or yung lumalabas sa mga river, ganon. So, yun yung madalas na naririnig as discharge. Ito yung volumetric flow rate. So, ito yung equation natin. Q sub B is equals to AV. So, yung V natin is in mean velocity. Kasi, alam naman natin na hindi uniform yung velocity sa isang cross-section. May mabilis at may mahina or mabagal. So, ang mass flow rate naman is it measures the mass of fluid passing through a section per unit time. So, sa mass flow rate naman, kung gaano kabigat in terms of mass, like kg or kilogram yung dumadaan sa isang cross-section area. So, meron kasing ibang fluids na hindi ganun ka-importante yung volume, like yung gas, kasi di ba nga yung gas is nag-iiba-iba ang volume kasi it is compressible. So, hindi masyadong predictable ang volume. So, ang example ng mass flow rate, let's say wait lang, mag-draw tayo para control. Let's say may pipe dito. Straight yan. Straight na pipe. Oh my God! Let's say straight yan. Basta straight yan na pipe. So, yung pipe na yan is nakapatong siya ganyan. Let's say may napatungan niya na ganyan. Hindi na dun sa design. So, kailangan natin ngayon malaman kung how much weight or mass yung dumadaan doon sa ating pipe para kayang i-carry. So, yun yung kahalagaan ng mass flow rate at ng weight flow rate. So, ito yung kanyang equation. Yung Q sub M is equals to rho AV. So, sa weight flow rate naman, mapapalitan lang, para rin siyang mass flow rate, pero yung rho, mapapalitan lang ng specific weight. So, hindi na siya density. So, yun yung bigat na dumadaan sa certain cross-section per unit time. Like this. Parang same din to. Palitan lang yung row ng specific unit. So, wherein, yung Q natin is the flow rate. Yun yung kanyang, it's denoted as Q. Then yung A natin is the cross-sectional area of flow. V is the mean velocity or velocity. Rho is the density of fluid. And gamma is the specific weight of fluid. So, I hope you understand this. Meron din tayong example later on. Let's proceed naman sa Bernoulli's equation. So, Bernoulli's equation is the fundamental principle in fluid mechanics that describes the conservation of energy along a streamline in steady, reversible, and frictionless flows. It relates the pressure, velocity, and height or elevation of a fluid. So, mas maintindihan yun later on. So, we have two types of Bernoulli's equation. We have for the ideal system, which is wala siyang losses. And we have here the non-ideal system na merong head loss or pressure drop. Let's have this para mas maintindihan natin yung Bernoulli's principle. So, Bernoulli's energy equation, sinali ko ito since sabi sa ibang videos ay it is very evident. So, ano nga ba itong principle ng Bernoulli? So, sabi sa Bernoulli's energy equation, energy is conserved. It is actually based sa first law of thermodynamics, meaning energy is neither created nor destroyed but can only be transformed from one form to another. So, kapag nawalang isang form ng energy, siyempre mapupunta doon sa isang form ng energy. So, I hope clear din ito siya kasi sa phone ko kasi clear siya. So, nag-iiba para dito sa laptop. So, let's say meron tayo ditong pipe and meron tayo ditong reducer. Assuming na lang na meron reducer dito din. Ayun, lumiit na yung ating pipe. Say this is energy 1 and energy 2. So, according sa Bernoulli's energy equation, yung energy dito sa E sub 1, ito, ay equal to the energy here sa maliit na pipe. But we have to know that yung energy na ito ay comprised by three parts. Isa sa pressure energy na derive natin from work. Isa sa kinetic and potential energy. At ganun din sa kabila. Comprised din siya by three parts. So, yung total energy ay comprised by three parts. So, if lumaki yung isa, so maapektuhan yung dalawa. Tapos, kapag liliit, yun, maapektuhan yung dalawa, liliit yung dalawa kasi energy is always conserved. So, let's say may total energy dito na 10 kilojoule. Ngayon, siyempre, mas malaki ito. So, yung velocity dito is, ibig sabihin, medyo mababa compared dito sa cross-section na to. Dito sa E2. So, it means yung kinetic energy dito, ito, is medyo mababa din. Medyo mababa. So, yung potential energy natin is 2 kilojoule. Let's say we have 2 kilojoule na potential energy, kinetic energy na 2 kilojoule, and pressure energy na 6 kilojoule. So, we have a total of 10 kilojoule. Ngayon, napunta ito, yung halimbawa nag-flow yung dito, water, nagpunta sa section, dito sa section na ito. So, lumiit yung section, di ba? Ibig sabihin, bumilis dito. Kasi ibig sabihin, yung kinetic energy dito, since bumilis yung velocity ng tubig, it means tumaas yung kinetic energy. So, from 2 kilojoule, dito sa section na to, from 2 kilojoule dito, pagkapunta niya dito, naging 4 kilojoule. Pero ngayon, yung elevation pipe natin, ito, yung elevation na pagano, yung elevation ng pipe is walang nangyari. They are on the same center line. So, yung potential energy natin is will be 2 kilogram din. Intact siya. So, as is yung potential energy natin. Pero what will happen sa pressure energy? Doon nagkaroon ng effect. Let's say instead of 6 kilogram, naging na lang siya. Yung 2 kilogram doon napunta sa kinetic energy. So, ang natitira na lang doon sa pressure energy ay 2 kilojoule. So, ganoon yung dynamics ng Bernoulli's energy equation. So, kapag may lumaki na sa isang component, ang epekto nito ay liliit yung ibang component. So, what if yung initial energy natin, ito, ay lumiit? So, ito naging 3 kilojoule na lang. Ito, 3 kilojoule. Ito, 3 kilojoule. Then, yung potential energy natin is 2 kilojoule pa rin. So, we have a total of 8 kilojoule. And it is because yung ganitong model or setup is more realistic naman siya compared dito, di ba? Kasi yung iba ay napupunta sa friction loss. So, we have the pipe friction and the loss due to change in section. So, madidiscuss natin yan later on yung head loss o yung pipe, yung friction loss. So, ang principle kasi ng Bernoulli's equation ay in a flowing fluid, pressure is reduced when velocity increases. So, gaya ng nangyari dito, velocity, kaya na-reduce yung pressure energy. Ganyan yung nangyari dito sa model na ito. So, in a practical application, like water distribution, let's say, merong source of water at ipapump ang tubig. At i-distribute ito through pipes line sa mga bahay. So, ngayon, kapag maraming gumagamit at mataas ang consumption of water, ibig sabihin mataas din ang flow rate or ang Q. So, since directly proportional ang flow rate sa velocity, ibig sabihin mataas din ang velocity sa mga sa pipeline. So, ganyan yung so applying Bernoulli's theorem, since mataas ang velocity ay bumabagsak naman ang pressure sa system. Kaya kung mapapansin nyo, may mga oras na humihina ang tubig kasi marami at sabay-sabay ang paggamit. Kaya, sorry. Maraming nagre-reklamo, right? So, I hope you understand the concept or principle of Bernoulli's equation. So, gaya ng sinabi ko, ito yung example nito. Yung first na model natin is ideal system, which is walang nangyaring losses. So, yung second na model, yung non-ideal system, merong losses doon. So, between these two formulas or these two system, mas realistic talaga yung non-ideal system. So, let's have the examples. Ito, examples ng flow rate. So, water flows in a 40 mm pipe at a velocity of 0.5 meter per second. Determine the volumetric, mass, and wet flow rate. So, ito yung given natin. Yung diameter natin is 40 mm. And convert natin siya into meters. So, we have here the 0.404 meters. So, yung velocity natin is 0.5 meter per second. So, ito, illustrate natin siya. Ganyan. Ganyan yung kanyang illustration. So, let's compute or calculate first the volumetric flow rate or yung volume flow rate niya. So, we have here the formula Q sub P is equals to V over T or equal to A V, area times velocity. So, yung area natin, we have here pi d squared over 4 times velocity. So, let's calculate it. 5 pi times 0.04 m squared yung ating diameter over 4 and times the velocity na 0.5 meter per seconds. We have the volumetric flow rate na 6.282832 times 10 raised negative 4 cubic meter per second. So, ganyan yung unit ng ating flow rate. So, kunin naman natin yung kanyang mass flow rate. So, madali lang ito guys. So, ang ating mass flow rate is, ang formula niya is Q sub M is equals to M over T or equals to rho times yung ating volumetric flow rate. Since 'di ba yung Q sub B natin is AB, so pwede natin siyang ganyan na. So at rho sub W, yung density ng water is 1,000 kg per cubic meter. So let's solve it. Substitute natin yung mga values. So 1,000 kg per cubic meter, then times yung ating volumetric flow rate. We have the mass flow rate na 0.6283 kg per seconds. So, cancel nyo lang yung cubic meter. So, let's proceed sa weight flow rate. So, weight flow rate natin, we have gamma times yung volumetric flow rate natin is equals to W over T. So, ang value ng gamma natin, yung water, is 9.81 kilonewton per cubic meter. So, convert natin siya into Newton. We have 9,810 Newton per cubic meter. So, substitute natin siya. Ito yung value ng ating gamma and value ng ating volumetric flow rate. So, we have here 6.1638 Newton per second. So, cancel na lang din yung cubic meter. So, if you want to try it in calculator or try to solve this, you can try this guys. So, let's have another example. Determine the diameter of pipe number 2 from the figure shown. So, I hope clear din sa inyo to kasi nagbabago talaga yung sa laptop. So, sa ating pipe 1, we have the flow rate na 0.69 cubic meter per seconds. Sa pipe 2, we have velocity na 0.51 meter per second, and sa pipe 3 na we have diameter na 50 mm and velocity na 1.5 meter per second. So, here is the solution. So, bakit ganito? Bakit Q sub 1 is equal to Q sub 2 plus Q sub 3? So, kasi meron tayong mayroon po may papasok na fluid in a flow rate na 0.69 cubic meter per second. So, meron tayong papasok na fluid, which is, pagdating dito, mahahati siya sa pipe 2 and pipe 3. So, ganito yung magiging formula natin. So, Q sub 1 is equals to Q sub 2 plus Q sub 3. So, yung value ng ating, yung Q is A times B. So, Q sub 1 is equals to A sub B, ay A sub 2 B times B sub 2 plus A sub 3 times B sub 3. So, ang ating area is pi d squared sub 2 over 4 times B squared. Ay, B sub 2. We have pi d squared sub 3 over 4 and V sub 3. So, i-plug natin yung mga value ng ating plug na natin yung value. We have here the 0.69 cubic meter per second, yung ating Q sub 1. Since ang hinahanap natin yung diameter sa pipe number 2, so let's remain it like, ayan na natin na ganyan. So, ating velocity is 0.51 meter per second, yung velocity dito sa pipe number 2, and yung diameter natin sa pipe 3, pipe number 3 is 0.5 meter. Convert natin yung 50 mm. And yung ating velocity sa pipe number 3 is 1.5 meter per second. So, shift solve nyo lang siya. We have here the D sub 2 or yung diameter natin sa pipe number 2. We have 0.9936 meter or approximately 1 meter. So, kasi since wala namang size ng pipe na ganito, so, i-round up natin siya. So, pag ganito daw, pag round off daw is dapat round up. So, yung ating D sub 2 is approximately 1,000 mm. So, let's proceed sa head losses in pipes. So, sa head loss is the loss of energy that occurs as the fluid flows through a pipe, and it happens when the fluid's momentum is lost. So, itong friction factor, it is the dimensionless quantity used in fluid mechanics to represent the resistance or frictional losses of a fluid as it flows through a pipe. So, ito yung friction factor, ito yung frictional losses o yung resistance. So, ano nga ba itong head losses? So, ang other term for head loss ay pressure drop, at ibinabawas natin ito sa input energy head. Yun yung sa non-ideal system, yung kanina sa Bernoulli's energy equation na, di ba, mayroon dong minus summation of HL. So, ang head losses ay ang energy losses in a hydraulic system due to frictional resistance. Due to some factors, and it is due also to some factors, mostly sa properties rin ng pipes ay nagkakaroon nga ng head loss. Pero dahil talaga ito sa mainly cause niya talaga yung frictional resistance. So, let's say meron tayong flow rate and pressure, ay meron tayong, let's say meron tayong pipe dito and inside sa pipe there is flowing fluid. Halimbawa ito, flowing fluid yan. So, kung yung flowing fluid, merong flow rate and pressure na pinaprocess yung fluid, and since it is flowing na sa pipe, so may portion yung flowing fluid wherein may contact siya dito sa sa pipe walls or sa materials. And due to that contact, we know naman na two particles or object or matter na directly in contact to each other causes friction at depende kung anong type of material. So yung pipe ay nagbabari din siya kung gaano kalakas yung magiging resistance ng pipe doon sa flowing of fluid in terms of energy head due to friction. So, itong head losses is meron siyang two head losses in pipes is meron siyang two major classification. We have the yung major head losses and minor head losses. So, in this video, ang i-discuss ko lang is yung major head losses is yung rin nga, yung minor head losses is it will be discussed by my co-group din. So, kapag sinabi nating major head losses, siya mostly ang nagko-contribute ng may mataas na na value ng head losses sa isang system. So, it came from pipes. So, depende talaga sa sa material ng pipe yung makukuhang head losses sa system. So, itong major head losses is nakadepende talaga siya sa material, dun sa pipe material. Sa major head losses, may iba't iba tayong material for pipes. May mga plastic, may gawa sa metal, at lahat ng pipe materials na iyon ay nagkukos siya ng friction sa flowing fluid. So, lahat ng gagamitin nating formulas dito sa major head losses ay mostly from empirical formulas. Ibig sabihin na came up or nagawa itong mga formulas na ito through experimental procedures. So, for major head losses, meron tayong three empirical formulas na gagamitin. So, these formulas ay ginagamit na rin siya for engineering design at pwedeng maggamit rin in actual practice. So, ang first formula natin ay Darcy-Weisbach formula. So, the Darcy-Weisbach formula equation is the fundamental formula in fluid mechanics used to calculate the pressure drop or head loss due to friction as fluid flows through a pipe. So, this formula is named after Henry Darcy and Julius Weisbach. So, they are both European scientists and engineers that give contribution to fluid mechanics. So, ito yung ating general equation. H sub F is equals to FL over D times V squared over 2G. So, yung H sub F natin dito is yan yung head loss. So, yung F natin, gaya ng sabi ko kanina, hindi siya ay ito yung yung friction factor natin. So, this F is unitless siya. Unitless, and it is sometimes called Darcy friction factor. And hindi constant ang F natin. So, nakadepende pa yan sa characteristics ng pipe, gaya ng diameter, ng roughness, height, epsilon, which it will be discussed later on, and doon sa viscosity rather ng fluid. So, we can determine the value of F through some formulas or through Moody diagram, which is mamaya makikita natin. So, yung L natin dito, pipe length, yung D is pipe diameter. Yung diameter dito is yung sa inside diameter o yung inner diameter. Tapos yung V natin is flow velocity, G, acceleration due to gravity. So, ito yung ating, if Q is given, ito yung ating formula, H sub F is equals to 0.0826 times F times L times Q squared over D raised to 5. Sa SI units siya. So, sa English unit naman, we have H sub F is equals to 0.0252 F L Q squared over D squared. So, ito naman is in English units. So, sa value ng F natin, for laminar, F is equal to 64 over RE. So, sa turbulent naman natin, gagamitin sa pag-determine ng F natin sa turbulent is magagamit natin yung Colebrook equation, which is ito. Yung 1 over square root of F is equals to negative 2 log times yung epsilon over D over 3.7 plus 2.51 over Reynolds numbers and times square root of F natin. So, yung Colebrook equation, this is mostly common use formula sa pag-determine ng value ng F kapag turbulent ang flow. So, yung epsilon natin dito is tinatawag na roughness height of the pipe. So, ano nga ba yung roughness height?
So, insert ko lang guys. So, kung makikita nyo, parang, meron tayo dito magnified picture of the inner surface of a pipe. So, kung titignan nyo, mayroon nakalagay na call out dito na protuberance. So, yan yung nakaperturb na material doon sa pipe wall that causes roughness. So, yung height ng mga nakaperturb na yan ay ang ating epsilon. So, kung titignan sa pipe, sobrang liit nito at hindi naman siya nakikita. So, we can use the ratio of epsilon and diameter kapag gusto nating i-plot sa Moody chart para mahanap ang value of F. So, yung ratio na yun ay tinatawag natin na relative roughness.
So, later on, meron tayong example. So, ito yung sinasabi ko na Moody chart which is derived sa Colebrook equation. So, let's proceed sa Manning's formula. Manning's yan ha, guys. So, ang Manning's formula is a widely used empirical formula for calculating the flow rate of velocity of water in open channels. So, mas nagagamit siya sa open channels such as rivers, canals, or partially filled to pipes. So, ito yung ating formula sa SI units. Ito yung ating general equation. Sa SI unit, we have h of F is equals to 6.35 n squared LV squared over D raised to 4/3. And ganun din sa English unit natin, ang mapapalitan lang yung constant dito na numbers, yung 2.87. If Q is given naman, ito yung gagamitin nating formula. And ito yung general equation for the velocity of this Manning formula. So, yung N natin dyan is the roughness coefficient unitless. Unitless yung ating N. So, ang velocity is V is flow velocity, L is pipe length, and D is pipe diameter. So, hindi ko rin nalagay dito, pero meron tayong sa pagkuha ng slope, we have S is equals to HF Yung sa pagkuha ng slope, we have S is equals to basta HF over L. And yun, ito yung general equation natin sa velocity. So, meron din tayo sa pagkuha ng hydraulic radius, yung radius na R is equals to A over P. So, it is the ratio between cross-sectional area of flow over the wetted perimeter. So, ano yung wetted perimeter? Let's say, merong pipe dito. Pipe, ganyan. Tapos, ito lang yung may tubig. So, yung dito, yung part na yan na may tubig, ito, yan yung ating wetted perimeter. So, kung fully, filled yung natin, yung pipe natin, ibig sabihin, yung full na yun na pipe is wetted perimeter siya. So, the value of N is nakadepende sa type of material ng pipe. So, meron tayong table dito kung saan makikita natin yung value ng N. So, let's proceed sa Hazen-Williams equation. Ito yung last equation. It is an empirical formula commonly used to calculate the flow rate or pressure drop of water in pressurized pipes, particularly in water distribution and fire protection systems. So, ito yung ating formula, general equation, and ito yung general equation natin sa pag-determine ng velocity and flow rate. So, ang ating L is the pipe length, Q is the flow rate, C it's the Hazen-Williams coefficient, or ito ay unitless, and D is the pipe diameter. So, ito yung table na dito natin makikita yung value ng C natin.
So, add ko na lang din, guys. So, I just want to discuss the relationship ng head loss doon sa mga functions niya sa formula. So, mostly naman doon sa formula ng mga 5 characteristics gaya ng length, diameter, friction factor, as well as flow rate and velocity. So, yung relation ng H sub F to friction factor is proportional. So, puro sila directly proportional, no? Maliban sa diameter, which is inversely proportional. So, it means kapag mataas ang value ng F, mataas yung value ng L. Or mahaba yung pipe length. At mataas yung flow rate. So, posibleng malaki din yung magiging head loss sa system. So, para maiwasan yun, lalabanan yun ng diameter since inversely proportional siya. So, kung malaki naman yung size at sufficient yung carrying capacity ng size in terms of diameter para doon sa flow ay pwedeng bumaba o mapababa ang head loss. So, para naman sa Manning's equations, yung nauna para yun sa Darcy, para naman sa Manning's equations ay ganun din. So, almost same din sila. Ang iba lang ay yung sa Hazen-Williams equation. So, dito naman ay inversely proportional ang H sub F sa C. So, it means kapag mataas ang value ng C, then mababa naman yung makukuhang head loss. Meaning, sa pagtaas ng value ng C ay mas smooth yung flow kasi nga less yung friction. So, kaya madalas ang mga value ng C or Hazen-Williams coefficient for head loss ay nagre-range sa 100, 120, or 140. So, the more na smooth ang pipe, mas less ang makukuhang friction or head loss. So, yun lang.
So let's proceed to our example. Determine the friction factor from the given data. Yung Reynolds number natin is 20,000. We have here the diameter na 50 mm and epsilon na 0.5 mm. So, hanapin natin yung friction factor na nito. So, i-plug natin ito yung Colebrook equation na 1 over square root of f minus a equals to negative 2 log f times epsilon over d over 3.7 plus 2.51 uh, over Reynolds square root of f. So, i-plug natin yung value ng ito, yung given. We have 1 over square root of f is equals to negative 2 log times 0.5 yung value ng ating epsilon and over 50 yung diameter over 3.7 plus 2.51 yung over yung Reynolds natin na 20,000 o times square root of f. So, i-shift solve na lang siya. Makukuha nyo itong f is equals to 0.0407. So, if you want to try or we can try it naman dito. Yung kunin natin, try natin yung Moody chart. So, ang value ng ating 0.5 ay epsilon is 0.5 and d is 50 mm. So, if i-divide mo yan siya, kunin mo yung ratio niya kasi kunin natin yung relative roughness, we have, ilan mo? We have 0.01, I guess. 0.5 over 50. Yun, we have 0.01. So, balikan natin yung, ito, Moody chart. So, di ba ang value ng ating relative roughness, ito, is 0.01. So, ito yung line. Ito. Yan, pa-curve siya pataas. So, yung Reynolds natin is 20,000. So, kung makikita natin dito, ito naka-cubic, naka-rest to 3, ito rest to 4. Pag i-calculate natin ito, magiging 1,000 equals to 1,000. Then, ito, magiging 2,000 na yan, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. Tapos, pagdating dito, 10 raised to 4, magiging 10,000 siya. So, it means ito magiging 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, and 50,000. So, di ba yung value ng Reynolds natin is 20,000? So, dito siya. Pa-plot natin siya dito. Hindi na ako mag-draw kasi nagugulo. So, kung saan siya mag-intersect, so, dito siya, no? Dito siya, dito. So, kung i-straight natin yan siya, almost siya sa 0.04. Yun yung value ng ating F. 0.04. So, balikan natin yung na-solve natin dun. Ang value ng F natin dito is 0.04. So, almost the same din siya. Kasi syempre, hindi naman siya ganun ka exact. So, this is accidentally the same. Since maliliit lang kasi ito yung sinolve natin na value, so, mas applicable siya sa malalaking value. So, let's have another example. A fluid having a viscosity of 2.39 times 10 raised to negative 5 meters squared per second is flowing in a 50 mm diameter pipe and it has 120 m long at a velocity of 0.69 meter per second. So, determine the following. You have to determine the Reynolds number, friction factor, and head loss due to pipe friction. So, yung given natin, we have here yung viscosity natin dito is, it is a kinematic viscosity. So, we have here the viscosity, diameter, length, and velocity. So, let's find the Reynolds number. So, di ba sabi ko nga kanina, ito yung gagamitin nating formula or equation kapag ang given na viscosity is kinematic. So, ito yung gagamitin na formula. RE is equals to dV over viscosity. So, let's plug the value. We have here the 0.05, yung diameter natin na kinonvert to meter. So, 0.69 yung velocity natin and yung ating viscosity. So, we have here the Reynolds na 1,443.51. So, di ba dun sa, ano natin, dun sa sinabi ko na kapag less than 2,000 is laminar flow na siya. So, this is in laminar flow. Let's calculate the friction factor. So, since in laminar flow siya, ang gagamitin natin na formula for friction factor is yung F is equal to 64 over Reynolds. So, i-plug natin 64 over 1,443.51 yung value ng ating Reynolds number. We have the friction factor na 0.044. So, sa head losses naman niya, ang gamitin natin na na equation is yung general equation niya since in given is velocity at hindi flow rate. So, HF is equals to FL over T times V squared over 2G. So, plug natin yung value ito. So, di ba magka-cancel ito. Ang matitira na lang dito is M. So, ang value ng HF natin, result na 2.58 meter. So, try nyo na lang if you want to calculate or to solve this. So, last example, we have a 0.60 meter diameter pipeline is 30 meter long, carries 0.4 meter cube per second of water. So, yung given natin, we have diameter na 0.60 meter, length na 30 meter, and flow rate na 0.4 cubic meter per second. So, solution, we have, ang gagamitin natin yung ito na formula kasi di ba ang given dito is flow rate. So, meron din ditong given na compute the head loss using the following formulas. May you have the Darcy-Weisbach given yung kanyang F na 0.014, yung Mannings na given yung N niya na 0.013, and yung Hazen-Williams na given yung C niya na 120. So, i-plug natin yung value ng given. We have here sa HF natin. So, sa letter A natin, given yung kanyang F na 0.014. So, pag i-calculate natin siya, we have the head loss of 0.071. Ito yung ating F. So, try nyo na lang sa, try nyo sa bahay, try nyo i-calculate. So, sabihin natin, yung Mannings naman, given yung kanyang N, yung 0.030. So, i-plug natin siya, we have here, and ang result ng ating head loss is 0.127 meter. So, sa Hazen-Williams naman, ang given na value is, yung C natin is 120. So, kapag i-plug natin siya, we have here 120 yung raised to 1.85. And we have the result of head loss na 0.01 meter. So, madali lang siya guys. Ipa-plug lang natin siya. Unless, so magbigay si ma'am ng mahihirap. So, kung ganito yung madali lang. So, that's it for this video. I hope may natutunan kayo guys. And if may questions kayo, write it down na lang para masagot ni ma'am. So, thank you guys.